I think the industry understands that this interest rate environment is just temporary, and really we're kind of laying the groundwork for what it's going to look like as rates start to float down.
Hello and welcome to Change and the Market, your mindful guide to the ever-changing real estate world. My name is Peyton Beck, and with me, as always, is author, CEO, and real estate trendsetter, Chris Masiello. Chris, how are you today?
Hi, Peyton. Good to be with you. Good to be with everybody else, as always.
So today we're going to talk about the new normal, right? How people are kind of getting tired of sitting around and not getting the new home they're interested in. Chris, why don't you expand on that a little bit and what we're seeing in today's market?
Well, I think you're seeing a number of things now with inflation. I think we can pretty much say like the war on inflation has been won, so to speak. And you're starting to see the Federal Reserve thinking about, obviously they paused on interest rates. I don't think they're going to go up anymore. But, with rates going up, it kind of paused the market a little bit. However, people have needs. And so they're only going to wait around so long before they start to make moves. And I think what we're seeing now is kind of the first signs of pent-up demand. Now, so the good news, like we humans as a species, we're not patient. And the bad news is, well, we're not patient. And so, right, about 4, 5, 6 months of putting off a decision, is about the tolerance level for people. And so people who are needing to make moves are really thinking about, well, maybe I will now because it's like, how much longer is this going to be? And I think, rates being out of that 3 and 4% range is kind of the new normal. What is it going to settle in at? In the 5s, 6. We're already seeing 5/1 adjustable arms in the low 6s. And so I think we're not too far away from seeing, some different interest rate products in that consistently low 6, high 5 range. I think that's kind of the tipping point where people will start to make a move. And it takes roughly about, depends on the person, anywhere from 1 to 2 months to develop a comfort level with whatever the new normal is. And so this is the new normal. And I think it's showing up now in just some initial signs of pent-up demand.
Yeah, it looks like from an article we both reviewed from CNBC, right? There's a 15% peak in people who are willing to jump back into the market from just 6 months ago. I can speak for the idea of I bought at the peak interest rate because I had to, and I'm making it. It's fine. I can see why people would, as they're sitting here stewing on that, wanting to make that move, they think, the pent up demand of I'm just going to do it, right? I can refinance. There are really good options out there for us to move forward and make financial decisions wisely, even in the current market. I think it's definitely showing through, like you're saying, which is exciting for, I think, kind of everybody.
Yeah, people will just naturally make adjustments, and I think the other thing, which is kind of new for people, is that there's all sorts of interest rate programs that mortgage products, where people can refinance out of their higher rate to a lower rate. They can do it for no money at all. I mean, our partner, CMG Mortgage, which is a national company, it's in all 50 states. They offer this great program where you can get a mortgage now and then refinance out in 5 years, anytime between now and 5 years at no cost. It's pretty remarkable. So I think people understand, I think the industry understands that this interest rate environment is just temporary, and really we're kind of laying the groundwork for what it's going to look like as rates start to float down. Now, we might not see a full rate reduction until sometime next year, maybe towards the middle or end of next year, or maybe end of summer probably. But yeah, I mean, people, when you have to make plans, you have to make plans. If you've outgrown your house, you've outgrown your house. So
no, for sure. Okay, Chris. So talking about this new normal, what advice do you have for individuals when experiencing or realizing that they are kind of hitting that new normal?
Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter what it is. This case we're talking about housing. It could be anything in life, right? You have to witness yourself in the new normal, because it can creep up on you really quickly, and all of a sudden you're just used to something, right? And you have to kind of witness what you're getting used to. Now, obviously you want it to be something that's positive, like what we're talking about here. And I think the other part too is learning by witnessing yourself as you're moving in, from one condition to another, you're also learning how to be smarter than your circumstance. So if you're witnessing yourself and you're kind of witnessing yourself getting, new to something, right? Or getting used to something new, part of that is also understanding that you're learning how to be smarter than your circumstance. Oh, I've adjusted to this. What does that mean, right? My circumstance has changed. Now, maybe the physical circumstance hasn't changed, but you're witnessing that your thinking has changed. And once your thinking changes, then your actual circumstances change.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us today on this episode of Change in the Market. Chris, thank you so much for being here with me today. As always, if you've liked this episode, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe on whatever platform you're viewing it on. And as always, I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll catch you next week.
Good to be with you. Take care.